is Deb Marciano. I am from the United States of America, and I am the moderator for this session. You may type messages into the bottom, which I can share with the speakers, or they can read at the end of their presentation, or you can ask them through your own microphone. So everyone has 15 minutes. I will give you a 5-minute warning and then a 2-minute warning, and then we'll have 5 minutes for questioning. Okay, so I'm only going to briefly introduce people so they have all their full time. Our first speaker this morning, or this afternoon, depending on where we are, is Silvia Giuliani, and she is a researcher at the Institute of Marine Sciences of the Italian National Research Council in Bologna, Italy, beautiful city. She holds degrees in environmental sciences, and today she will share her topic, how can we turn the interest of young generations to study geoscience-related disciplines? And this is the Engine Project's review of best practices for teaching STEM and its feedback on the project strategy. So Silvia, welcome, and I'm here if you need any assistance.
Thank you very much. In order to save time and be very strict in my time limit, I will kindly ask you to play the video I have prepared, and I will be here after the video for answering any questions if there will be.
Dear participants to the conference, The Future of Education, first of all, let me express my satisfaction in having the possibility to attend this event, even if not physically present.
I don't think we can hear the video.
And I am a researcher at the Institute of Marine Sciences of the National Research Council of Italy.
Do you guys can hear the video, or there are audio problems? Mille, non sound okay. Give everybody the same problem.
I can hear it correctly.
Okay. I try to interrupt and share again the external video.
Can you raise the volume, Roberta?
It was low audio volume. Could it?
My name is Silvia Giuliani, and I am a researcher at the Institute of Marine Sciences of the National Research Council of Italy. My educational background is as an environmental scientist.
Do anyone hear the video?
No. Very quietly.
Okay. So, yeah, so Silvia, if you're the one that can hear it, maybe it was recorded with some audio problem in the laptop. I know you prefer to play the pre-recorded video, but is it okay for you?
Okay, okay. I will try to. Right, I will switch to live presentation.
Okay, perfect. So I will go immediately for you.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Now you are the presenter, and the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. So as I tried to say in the video, I am a researcher at the Institute of Marine Sciences. My research interest pertains basically the definition of natural and anthropogenic pollutants, inputs, and chronologies in sediments of heavily impacted environments. But this is not my sole interest, because in the last years I have been actively involved in educational and dissemination projects, both at national and international levels, as you can see here. I had then the possibility to realize personally the importance of a correct and effective science communication for the education of future generations of citizens. And since 2020, I am the national reference person for the EIT Project NG, an acronym that stands for Encouraging Girls to Study Geosciences and Engineering. I don't know how I can go on with the slides. Oh, it's here. No, here. Okay. So the NG project, together with other projects financed by the EIT Raw Material Institution, originate from the observation that the increasing dependence on raw materials from abroad makes the European Union highly vulnerable to problems linked to market oscillations and to the shortage of expert employees. The need of skilled professionals in scientific fields related to raw materials exploitation, disposal, recycling, and environmental problems is thus more urgent than ever and is strongly linked to the EU's capacity for innovation. For this reason, improving and modernizing science teaching in schools has become a crucial issue to provide the necessary recruitment in STEM professions. The challenges are even greater when directing young girls in engineering and geosciences careers, both closely linked to raw materials fields, but traditionally considered as masculine and with an evident gender imbalance. This imbalance must be overcome in order to achieve higher levels of creativity and innovation that accompany heterogeneous and diverse teams. The EIT project NG started in 2020 with the aim of turning the interest of 13, 18 years old girls to study these STEM disciplines. The project is coordinated by University of Miskolc in Hungary, with the participation of CNR in Italy, the Technical University of Technology of Luleå in Sweden, the University of Zagreb in Croatia, and the La Palma Research Center in the Canary Islands, and the European Federation of Geologists based in Brussels. In addition, the project benefits of the collaboration of national professional organizations located in 21 European countries. With this wide action on a European level, the project is expected to contribute to the improvement of gender balance in geoscience and geoengineering fields. For this purpose, the project needs to take inspiration from and also to develop best practices to approach students and teach them STEM-related subjects. Thus, an extensive research on best programs and practices was carried out in 2020 with the aim of learning from successful stories and contributing to the customization of the NG action plan for the project activities that will be promoted in the following 2 years of the project. This research comprised literature studies and historical evaluation of successful programs and initiatives, gathered both from the web and from the direct experience of the project participants. The research reviewed past and current actions aimed at raising girls, but also all students' interest for STEM subjects. The purpose was to adapt their strategies, replicate their successes within the field of geosciences and geoengineering. The review helped identify key lessons for ensuring the success of NG's initiative and the reaching of its goals. 72 entries contributed to the realization of the NG report on international best practices for teaching STEM. They included projects, practical activities and actions, and general studies on motivation and inspiration. The majority of contributions came from Europe, but inspirational examples from outside its borders were also included. We divided the collected material into three categories. Theoretical concepts underlying best practices for teaching STEM, programs and projects for schools and the general public, and actions aimed at girls and women. Projects for school and actions for girls were the vast majority of the analyzed materials, while the rest was dealing with theoretical concepts. These latter, differently from the others, are not country-based, but are theoretically can be applied to any other countries because they define approaches and strategies that attain to emotional and affective domains that are general to many cultures. The experience derived from each initiative was translated into indications on good practices to be adopted within the NG project for increasing the interest on geoscience subjects. Here there is an example on how each single entry was organized in the report with a title, a concise description of the project or the action, and an indication on how to tailor it for the NG project's purpose. With this approach, we were able to summarize many different concepts and experiences in few indications that were extremely important. The first and somewhat most important lesson learned is that any kind of gender biases has to be avoided. And this awareness is not to be taken for granted, given also the NG project's target on young girls. So we have learned that the participation of all students, male and females, to awareness actions is necessary to promote gender equality, because it is a way for everybody to gain direct experience of the higher levels of creativity and innovation that accompany heterogeneous and diverse teams. Another lesson learned is that the affective domain at the basis of stable and long-term interest is strongly linked to the examples provided by senior professionals and young women working in traditionally male industries, the so-called role models. Similarly to role models, the mentoring of teenage schoolgirls by their older schoolmates or undergraduate peers is to be favored, together with the use of teamwork and the interaction between teachers and experts that can additionally create positive feedbacks on increased school curricula. The use of modern technologies and social media can be useful tools to reach this aim. In addition, media, social media, and other communication forms are suggested for the collection of inspirational stories, especially during this very strange period of COVID-19 social distancing. The third lesson learned, and that we have fully heard about in the morning session, is that hands-on activity and first-hand experiences of the professional jobs through active learning are among the most effective practices to turn individual interest into stable, long-term professional choices. And we should use funny and amusing toolkits in schools and community, also family bonds, and create positive memories.
Sylvia, 5 minutes.
Yes, I said it. Thank you. Sorry. Oh, okay. And another lesson learned is that all activities must be fully prepared and in advance in order to avoid what is called sorry, I was looking for I was not prepared to that. Must be fully prepared in advance in order to avoid the so-called novelty space that always is associated with new experiences. So all the activities must be tested and in advance in order to maximize the results. So they should have a preparatory phase in which the topic is presented, And then there is the direct experience, and then a final part is the in which you test knowledge acquired through quizzes, games, and other kind of questionnaires. Sorry for this, but okay. Okay, so another lesson learned that is the last lesson is that students should be involved as science popularizers and in the organization of events and activities, because this is a good way to consolidate their knowledge. And scientific competitions with awards and bonuses are a fun and engaging way to involve them, and also to foster their interest into STEM education, because they want to explore the contest subject in other ways than those proposed. And so what has NG project has to do, and what has to what is the lesson that will be applied to the NG project? First of all, inclusion is the key word at the basis of all the educational activities promoted by the project. So the project's focus on girls will just be limited to the quantification of their attendance, but all activities will be proposed to anybody who's interested in it. And also the free subscription to the NG magazine is one of the actions that will be inclusive and available for anybody interested. And the positive effect that role models have on youngsters is well aware to the NG project participants, and we have collected many videos and disseminated many interviews of successful women, and we will try to also improve the partnership with industry. And photo contests on geological themes have also been organized and will be organized in the NG project, and perfectly fits with the lesson learned of engaging students in competition with awards. And the importance of hands-on activities and active learning is clear to the project partners and for their capacity to attract attention, and we will make a large use of it. So that's it. I thank you for your attention. I'm sorry for not having been so clear in my presentation, but I was like taken a little bit by surprise.
Thank you very much. Are there questions for Sylvia? You can type them, or you can unmute and say them. Sylvia, I have a question, especially during COVID. What age group are you seeing coming forward as most interested in joining the project or learning more about the project?
Well, my direct experience is that students from 11 to 14 years old are much more enthusiastic on everything you propose them. I personally have some difficulties in approaching older students, but this is something probably I have to learn how to do it, because you should not give for granted that their interest is so easily ignited by what you say. You have to interest them with special effects. I don't know how to tell. And
we need that Hollywood.
Yes, or either you are really good at communicating with teenagers and know what they and be very familiar with the social media they use, like TikTok, Instagram. That's something I personally am not, but the project partners are familiar with that and know that it is important to speak their own language.
We have some questions in the box here. How many participants do you have in the project?
The project partners are 6, but we have the collaboration of 21 national organizations all over Europe. So if we want to have a total number of participants, 27. Some of the national organizations are doubled. There are, for example, in Italy, there is me as a partner for the CNR, but also the representative of the National Council of Geologists. So we are collaborating a lot. And no, we do not have at the moment a collaboration partnership with the countries and regions outside the EU, but this is something we would definitely like to improve. Because as I said, many of the strategies we are proposing can be tailored for many, many different situations and countries and backgrounds. And so if you're interested, please.
Good, thank you. Any other questions? I know we got to a minute or two late start, so okay, thank you very much, Sylvia. Mala, are you okay? I see